All right, the latest coming in. The race for the vice president post is only but picking up, and that's the news that we are breaking. Sources tell us India bloc asks Kharge to finalize name. DMK favors fielding candidate. Samajwadi Party mentions scientist M. Annadurai. NDA candidate Radhakrishnan meets the Prime Minister on the other side. Sources tell us NDA candidate to file nomination on August 21st, 1st of August is the final day of filing nomination. In all probability, the NDA candidate is going to do it on August 20th itself. We're still to now know the choice of candidate from the India Alliance sides. And viewers, what we can pick up, there are three lines that the India Alliance is working on, three trains of thought. Number one, to get somebody from Tamil Nadu, give DMK a face saver. Many seem to suggest DMK in a catch-22 situation with the vice president nomination pick of the NDA coming from Tamil Nadu. On the other hand, many suggest that why not somebody from the state of Bihar? Bihar is going to election. There is a massive campaign that you have the Mahagathbandhan running against SIR in Bihar. So maybe a Bihar candidate. There is also a third idea which is being floated where the India Alliance is concerned, viewers, and that is to get somebody from Andhra Pradesh. Put or attempt to put the TDP in the same dichotomy that possibly the NDA has put the DMK in. I want to connect right now immediately to my colleague Maushmi Singh, who's joining us live. Maushmi, time's running out. The India Alliance practically has 24 hours to come up with a name for their own vice president candidate.
So clearly, Preeti, the latest update is that there is going to be a meeting at about 12:30 tomorrow, and that's been put out by Jairam Ramesh. So probably, that is the time when we will see the India Alliance members announcing the VP candidate as far as pitching their best foot forward is concerned. And as we are told that all the leaders and all the political parties are agreeing to the fact that there should be a fight that should be put up as far as this contest is concerned. The opposition is very much right there to oppose the NDA candidate. And perhaps there will be, a lot of political parleys hoping to drive wedges into the NDA numbers for, this ideological fight that largely the members believe is worth contesting.
All right, Maushmi, what's the line of thought that you're picking up from the India Alliance? What are the names being discussed? Which states? What is the political strategy that is being applied?
So clearly, the first move has been made by the NDA, naturally so the BJP has all the numbers, and that's why once the name has come from Tamil Nadu, it's very clear that the opposition members are looking at that state as far as a neutral or perhaps a non-political candidate is concerned. There could be a name that could come up of Mr. Annadurai, M. Annadurai, who is an eminent scientist, a Padma Shri awardee. He hails from Coimbatore. That name was actually deliberated and discussed upon. Somebody else mooted, perhaps some personality who hails from the Dalit community in Bihar. Could be a good contest looking at the upcoming assembly elections in Bihar. And since it's just a fight about ideology and sending that message across, could probably be a good candidate. So we'll have to wait and watch, Preeti. Clearly, the states we can tell you, but the opposition members keeping the cards very close. I am told Mr. Kharge would be speaking to the top brass of the India bloc, perhaps to finalize and agree on the consensus, because last time there was a bit of an embarrassment with the TMC abstaining from voting against Mr. Dhankar during the vice presidential elections last time.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Maushmi, with the very latest that is coming in right now. You have the India Alliance caught in a deliberation on who they should pitch against. the NDA's choice, Mr. C.P. Radhakrishnan, as the Vice President nominee. Viewers, to put it in perspective, 21st of August is the last day for nomination. 9th of September is going to be the election for the Vice President. If you look at numbers, the NDA has it in the bag. But the India Alliance is not going to give up without putting up a fight, is what we've been indicated, and more so, political messaging, always extremely important when it comes down to elections such as this. All right, with that news break, I want to quickly shift focus to the other big development that we've been tracking very closely, and that is the massive face-off that has been brewing between the Election Commission and the opposition. The war words between opposition versus Election Commission of India is only but escalating. Leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, who is undertaking a voter adhikar yatra that you can see on your television screen in Bihar, launched another scathing attack at the poll body for demanding an affidavit from him. Not only this, the opposition parties also doubled down on the Election Commission of India, threatening to table impeachment motion against the CEC Gyanesh Kumar during the next session of Parliament. 8 India bloc parties today join hands to hold a press conference in Delhi to give a point-by-point rebuttal to CEC Gyanesh Kumar's clarification that he made on Sunday in a press conference. Meanwhile, the BJP rained fire on the India bloc for what they call hampering the election process.
हलफनामा देना होगा या देश से माफी मांगनी होगी, तीसरा विकल्प नहीं है। आपके माध्यम से मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूं, अगर 7 दिन में हलफनामा नहीं मिला तो इसका अर्थ ये सारे आरोप निराधार हैं और हमारे मतदाताओं को ये कहना कि वो फर्जी हैं, इसके ऊपर जो भी इस बात को बोल रहा है उसको माफी मांगनी चाहिए।
जिम्मेदार वो है, जिम्मेदारी उनकी है, चोरी उनकी पकड़ी गई और मुझे कहते हैं आप एफिडेविट लाओ। इलेक्शन कमीशन से मैं कहना चाहता हूं, पूरा देश आपसे एफिडेविट मांगने का काम करेगा। थोड़ा सा समय दे दो। हर स्टेट में, हर विधानसभा में, हर लोकसभा में हम आपकी चोरी पकड़ के देश को दिखाने जा रहे हैं।
जहां तक कि मशीन रीडेबल मतदाता सूची का सवाल है, माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट 2019 में ही कह चुका है कि यह मतदाता की निजता का हनन हो सकता है। वोटर प्राइवेसी कैन बी ब्रीच्ड। हमने कुछ दिन पहले देखा कि कई मतदाताओं की फोटो उनकी अनुमति के बिना मीडिया के समक्ष रखी गई, उनके ऊपर आरोप लगाए गए, उनका इस्तेमाल किया गया। क्या अपनी माताओं, बहुओं, बेटियों सहित किसी भी मतदाता की सीसीटीवी वीडियो चुनाव आयोग को साझा करनी चाहिए क्या?
Today you are doing it because the Supreme Court has asked you to do it. Even then you are lying. I use this unparliamentary word lying because that is actually the truth. You come out and you say that there is a Supreme Court judgment which says it cannot be machine readable. Can I tell you that the 2018 Justice Sikri's judgment, Kamal Nath versus Election Commission of India, paragraph 24, I have the judgment here, only says, however, it is not necessary to go into this aspect. It does not say that machine readable will violate the privacy of an individual. That is completely incorrect.
All right, Priya, so that's the face-off brewing between the opposition and the Election Commission. I'm joined right now by former CEC O.P. Rawat, who's joining us live. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, taking the time out and joining us this evening. Mr. Rawat, my first question, net, I'm sure you saw that press conference yesterday by the CEC and the Election Commission. What do you think? In your appreciation, do you reckon that the CEC answered all the questions which were posed to him?
Unfortunately, I was traveling during that period, so I could not see the press conference at that time, but I saw a recording and I found that since the format was such that 5 questions were clubbed together and then the answer was given, so I am afraid that maybe some pointed questions were not fully answered.
So, sir, would you reckon that the press conference that has come clearly after, it's the first press conference at least that has come after the entire controversy and contention on number one, the SIR that is being conducted, which many feel is contentious in the state of Bihar, and the second issue is the voter fraud allegation that have been made by the opposition. Yes. Would you reckon that the Election Commission failed to actually, give out all the information and take every question correctly as they should have?
I feel the Election Commission should not have let its initiative gone into the hands of political leadership by asking for oath and other things in that complaint case. And even in SIR, whenever there was something coming up that 2.97 crores voter will be left out of the draft roll, they immediately changed the tack and on 6 July issued an advertisement that all these 2.97 crore voters need not wait for the documents out of those 11 come to them. They can submit the enumeration form and submit these documents later. Then came second thing, that even those people who have gone out, they can upload their forms from there online. Then third came about these deletion lists. When Supreme Court directed, then Election Commission agreed to put the deletion list of 65 lakh. That is showing that they did not take their initiative effectively, and in fact, they were pushed around.
So, Mr. Rawat, in your appreciation, you'd feel that and correct me if I'm wrong, sir, at any time, that the Election Commission in the press conference that they addressed yesterday added to the confusion, leave alone clarifying what the doubts were.
No, I don't think that it added to the confusion. It defined the battle lines. In fact, I would say that everything is made very clear that they are not going to change their track, and political parties are also not going to change their track. So I think
yes,
it was an attempt at clarifying things, but those clarifications were not really adequate enough to diffuse the situation.
So the clarifications, like you said, were not adequate enough to diffuse the situation. I want to, Mr. Rawat, just go point by point and, correct me wherever you feel I'm wrong.
Okay.
Number one, sir, when you have the opposition that has questioned on the, on fake addresses, proof of manipulation is what the opposition alleges by house number 0 of many voters. The Election Commission yesterday said that notional numbers like house number 0 are given to slum dwellers and the homeless and those without proper home addresses. Is it correct, sir? Is this what has happened in the past? Because you've been the CEC?
I don't remember that it ever happened in the past. In fact, there was a complaint from Hyderabad of the similar nature, that there was 0 address, there were 80 names on one address. These kind of complaints were there. But at that time, the Election Commission, in fact, constituted 24 teams for each ward. And these teams had a representation from the complainant as well as from other political parties. And then they went from house to house, verifying the address, verifying the number of voters. And within one day, all the facts emerged. And then Election Commission put all those facts in the public domain, and
Mr.
things
Rawat,
were diffused.
Allow me to ask you this again, sir. So you are saying, because this is the explanation given yesterday by the EC, where they say that notional numbers like house number 0 are routinely given to the homeless or slum dwellers and those without proper house numbers. And this is precedence. You're saying there is no precedence.
Yeah, it may be varying in different townships, different villages, because everywhere this 0 thing is not followed. Wherever the house numbers are not given, local bodies, they have their different traditional systems.
So that's not a norm.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is clarified. So it's not a norm, it's not precedence. That 0 is always given as a notional number for houses. The second question, Mr. Rawat, I'd like to ask you, and because the opposition claims that if you're asking Rahul Gandhi to furbish and sign an affidavit, then you must also ask the member of a BJP, the party, who is making similar claims on seats like Wayanad and Raebareli. Why the distinction?
I think that CEC tried to explain. He tried to explain by saying that there is level difference, that here was someone asking for action, here was someone only mentioning facts. But I think in such a discourse, you should not be cutting it that fine. You should ensure that initiative remains with the Election Commission. As soon as somebody puts up this kind of thing, you immediately inquire and put up the facts in the public domain and diffuse the situation to be immediately. Here, initiative has been lost and therefore it is snowballing.
So they should have even clarified what Anurag Thakur said. So that's what you're saying?
Certainly,
the EC should have clarified the charges of the BJP immediately.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you the other question that was raised. Now, in June this year, the EC defended its decision not to share the CCTV footage from polling stations on voting day, claiming that its release could reveal details of who cast the vote, privacy issues, where they said that they were after 45 days, if you retain the CCTV images, then there are privacy issues to the mothers and daughters. The counter to that, Mr. Rawat, has been what happens before 45 days then? Because isn't the privacy as sanctimonious before 45 days than what is it after 45 days? One. And then the second question, sir, why have CCTV if we cannot actually use that information to assist investigation?
Actually, CCTVs were installed by Election Commission for creating some documentary evidence to dispose of grievances and complaints of the polling day, like seizure of money, seizure of freebies, all kinds of things happened that day or before 2-3 days before that. So the purpose was different. And this is why this was retained only for the constituencies where election petition was filed, so that this can help in resolving the election petition issues. But otherwise, it has no meaning and privacy has no concern with it.
So privacy has, sir, you're making very big claims, but that concern has no concern. Privacy has no concern with this. So allow me to ask you the other question. Now, while announcing the SIR in Bihar on June 24th, the EC had pointedly said the exercise was necessary for various reasons, among which was the inclusion of foreign illegal immigrants in the electoral rolls. Now, a question was asked yesterday of the EC about the number of such undocumented immigrants found. No answer was given on that, sir.
Actually, you are right there. And therefore, I would say that even these deletion lists do not have those names of foreign nationals. So that shows that something which was said was not there materially.
Sir, I'll ask you, you've actually laid bare a lot of the questions that could have been answered yesterday and were not answered by the EC. I'll ask you one final question, sir. And, this is a subjective question, because there have been surveys after surveys, and we have seen the latest survey by Lokniti CSDS, which practically depicts the fall of the perception of the EC, the credibility of the EC in the eye of the people. Would you reckon, sir, when the fight might be political, but do you agree the onus lies on the Election Commission of India to come clean and put all facts forward?
Certainly, that has been the convention with the EC. Always the trust and confidence of stakeholders and voters at large. That is the top priority for EC. And when I was there, EVM campaign was there, if you remember, we immediately put up the EVM challenge to all political parties that please go and which polling booths you select that this EVM was malfunctioning or creating problems, bring it and transfer one vote from here to there and we will accept. But nobody came. So that is the top priority for EC, that trust and confidence of stakeholders should remain.
Sir, final question. How do you think the EC should now approach the allegations that have come in at the back of what they clearly did not answer yesterday?
I think my colleagues in the EC today, they are very highly experienced, very intelligent and sharp, and they will definitely find navigating their way through.
I'm glad at least you're sticking up for your colleagues, but you've laid bare on what you thought went wrong. But I thank you for taking the time out and being very honest and being very, very clear in what you thought on how you perceive whether the EC has handled the situation in whichever way that you gave your appreciation on. Thank you, sir, for taking the time out and joining us. Because that prompts me to the big question this evening, because there's a lot that the former CEC said that the EC could have done and did not do. That prompts us also to ask certain questions. The CEC's defense convincing, or was it a tad bit confusing? Did the CEC hide more than what he revealed? Is the opposition discrediting the Election Commission of India for political gain by planting seeds of doubt in the minds of the voters? Election Commission's credibility clearly at stake. Does the onus now lie with the Election Commission? I want to immediately cut across to our guest this evening. Joining me, Neerja Choudhry, political analyst, Jyotimani Sennamalai, Congress MP, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Neerja, I'd like to begin with you, Ms. Choudhry. We just heard the former CEC, and he point blankly made a point, Ms. Choudhry, that the EC could have been a lot more transparent, to say politely, yesterday in the kind of questions that it answered.
I think that is correct. And, you know, the election commissioner, the chief election commissioner and his colleagues are there as enforcers of a very fundamental right that the voters and citizens of India have to choose their rulers. What could be more fundamental than that? Often our democracy has been described as an electoral democracy because of the importance we give to elections and to the voter and his or her right to have free and fair elections. And the EC is supposed to ensure that. Now, if that has taken a knocking, if that is true, then that's not a very happy situation. I don't find it a happy situation that the battle becomes CEC versus Rahul Gandhi. It should never be like that. Even if Rahul Gandhi is making all kinds of wild charges, hypothetically speaking, I would have expected the Election Commission of India to say, we will look into every single one of them and get back to you. But this thing that came yesterday was not very, what to say, a happy situation. To have the election commissioner talk about, you know, politics being played, or, you know, of course he said, Paksh and Vipaksh, we represent both. And that's what we expect of them. And we've seen election commissioners and their officials go to the furthest corners of India, scaling hills, going through rivers to make sure that that single voter out there gets his or her chance to vote. And the world has seen, you know, the Election Commission of India conduct elections over decades. And we felt proud of that. If there, जैसे कहते हैं ना आँच भी आती है उस पे, then that's not a very happy situation. I hope the Election Commission will now defuse this situation and reassure the people, reassure all of us that it's going to be credible exercises. Whether it's SIR, the questions need to be asked and answered, and I think there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, Jyotimani Sennamalai, the fact is, I'll just go on to what at least sources seem to suggest, that the opposition party, 8 of those that held that press conference this afternoon, are actually anticipating and would like to move an impeachment motion against the CEC. Is that correct?
So, we might, you come to know whenever we prepare, and it will definitely coming to the parliament. See, my point is, before me, Mr. Rawat has explained as someone who worked in the EC. Very well. I would like to put it 2-3 points. Yesterday, Neerja ji rightly said, it's not about Rahul Gandhi ji or the Congress party or the opposition parties. It's about every single voters, you and me as an individual going to polling booth thinking that my vote will make a difference. I will change this government or I will keep this government. But now that trust has completely eroded, because instead of people choosing a political party. Here, this election commission is choosing voters who will be in the voter list or who won't be in the voter list. That is actually basically demolish the idea of free and fair election, and it's a cruel joke on our democracy. The press conference, you also have asked point by point questions. I also would like to make 2-3 points on that. See, election commission, he keep on saying that affidavit. What is affidavit? A responsible, a political leader from a responsible political party coming to the press conference and put it on record. It's not from our document, it's an election commission document. Till now in the press conference, can election commission say the document produced by Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji is not their document, it's Congress party document? No, they can't say that because it's their document. So they own the they have to own the responsibility and tell us and tell the country, tell each and every single voters that yes, there might be some mistake, some discrepancies in the voter list. We will look into it. They have to call the respective BLOs by now. They have to summon the BLOs, summon the state election officer and ensure that voter list, wrong with the voter list. Instead of, they are kind of threatening Mr. Rahul Gandhi by saying you have to file the affidavit, otherwise we will send notice to you. Who care about your notice? We are not here to afraid of EC or anybody, because we are speaking the truth. Because even the case of affidavit, the question of affidavit only arises when electoral roll revision process is going on. If somebody name is missing, he or she wishes to include his or her name, then only the affidavit speak. In this kind of situations, we are making a very strong allegation against the voter list fraud based on the very fact which we have proved, which we showed, entire country have seen it. This kind of situation, this kind of affidavit question is not arise. Election Commission is completely dishonest and misguiding the entire country.
I'll come back to you.
They have completely colluded with BJP and they actually...
That's the charges and the allegations, Jyotimani, that your party makes along with 7 other political outfits, political parties. So I'll come back to you. I want to bring it...
Give me 30 seconds, I'm going to finish it. So
again, make your point.
Let me finish it. I'm just finishing it 30 seconds. So they are actually, by their own, they're spreading more lies in this press conference because they want to defend their fall. They completely gone with BJP. And in my view, 2024 election, we have won. That mandate is stolen from us by the BJP with the help of Election Commission. Election Commission want to hide that bitter truth. That is why now they are in the defensive. They are making...
those are allegations, yes. Those are allegations. You might feel...
With their press con, they are more suspicious than ever.
Jyotimani, those are allegations. You might feel that you have won it, but ultimately, whatever the numbers were on the board, that's what's counted. And the result was very clear and definitive. I want to bring in Sanju Verma into this conversation. Sanju Verma, before we get into cliches of Godi media or Piddi media, I'm not saying it, madam. It came from the former CEC. You heard Mr. Rawat. And on questions, I can go one by one on every question, on what he answered. Number one, when he was asked about the notional number, house number 0 that was given, that was what was at least said in yesterday's press conference. Notional house number 0 is given to those who are homeless and live in slums. He says that doesn't quite happen. That's not precedent. So he debunked that, number one. Number two, he's of the opinion, and he's been the CEC not very far long, ma'am. You were in the same government when he was CEC. And the second thing, what he said, and I'll just give you 2 examples because I'm sure you heard that interview. The second thing, when asked on why should only Rahul Gandhi give the affidavit, why shouldn't the same affidavit be asked by Anurag Thakur, he made that very clear that it was the onus on the CEC, that the CEC comes out and makes things clear with immediacy at that point itself. Lots of glaring questions. Sanju Verma, I would reckon you'd agree.
Thank you, Preeti. Now, can I start? If you are done asking me a very pointed question, as you rightly should. Yes, I will get into that Godi media versus Piddi media, but I think right now we have more important things to discuss. Let me say this very clearly and very categorically. Shame on everybody from the Congress party and the opposition that is putting the Election Commission in the dockyard and saying that the 2024 Lok Sabha election was stolen. The mandate was stolen. If the mandate indeed was stolen, then we might as well have crossed 400 because hamara nara tha ab ki baar 400 par. Why would Smriti Irani have egg on her face losing Amethi after categorically declaring that, she will win Amethi second time in a row? But that's not the important point. A fabulous job by the Chief Election Commissioner, a fabulous job by Gyanesh Kumar. Hats off to him. And I say this for a reason. हलफनामा तो देना पड़ेगा और हलफनामा नहीं दिया तो माफी मांगनी पड़ेगी, तीसरा कोई विकल्प नहीं है. So yes, Rahul Gandhi, in the next 7 days starting yesterday, either give an affidavit under oath or be ready to apologize. Second point, everybody says, oh, 65 lakh voters were deleted. अरे 65 lakh voters were deleted, तब आपको दिक्कत है. 30 lakh voters added in Maharashtra, तब आपको दिक्कत है. Maharashtra keeps coming into the picture. And, a journalist, I don't know whether he's Godi or Piggy, but he certainly did not seem to be asking the right questions. But let me just say this for the benefit of your viewers. He said, महाराष्ट्र में 7.83% वोटर इंक्रीज हो गया 5 और 6 बजे के बीच में. इसके बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे ज्ञानेश कुमार जी? And not only Gyanesh Kumar, but G. Chokhalingam, the Maharashtra Election Commissioner, has said the average number of people who were voting till 5 p.m. in Maharashtra Assembly elections every single hour was 58 lakh voters. Between 5 to 6 p.m., only 32.5 lakh people voted in Maharashtra elections. So there was no spike. In fact, if anything, there was a fall. And if you're talking of the 7.83 odd people, by way of voter count that increased between 5 to 6 p.m. in Maharashtra, why are you not talking about the fact that voter count in Telangana increased by 11.8% between 5 and 6 p.m.? Voter count in Himachal Pradesh increased by 13.9% between 5 and 6 p.m. Voter count in Karnataka increased by 13.7% between 5 and 6 p.m. BJP lost Karnataka, Himachal and Telangana. We did not start painting the election commissioner with a black brush. But the final point is this. Let's be very clear. Today is 18th August. On the 1st of August, the draft electoral roll was made public. The Congress party has 17,549 BLAs on the ground in Bihar. Not a single claim filed, Preeti, not a single objection filed. And Rahul Gandhi, no, 1 minute, because I still have some time. And Rahul Gandhi has the audacity to lecture the election commission. I want to ask you, and I repeat, Preeti, Rahul Gandhi started undermining the credibility of the election commission. Will he resign from Raebareli? Will Priyanka Vadra resign from Wayanad? Will Jyoti Mani resign from Karur in Tamil Nadu? Will Gaurav Gogoi resign from Assam? Will Manikam Tagore resign from Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu? Will Manish Tiwari resign from Chandigarh? Yahan baitkar, you are pointing fingers at the election commission and you say, humko Samvidhan mein vishwas hai. The LOP is not a constitutional post. The Chief Election Commissioner's post is a constitutional one under Article 324 of the Constitution. Shame on Rahul Gandhi.
Right, ma'am. Ma'am, the LOP is a statutory post. The CEC is a constitutional post. That is the distinction. But, once again, I'm going to take final interventions by all three of you. I'll go one by one. I want to bring in Neerja Choudhry first. Neerja Choudhry, ultimately, the fact is the issue is blowing up. It's EC against the opposition. Very rarely have we seen the kind of trust deficit that we have, which is now playing out at least on the streets of Bihar. Do you see it stick, is my question. As a political analyst who's followed politics and, poll agendas, what do you make of it?
Look, yes, I have not seen such a trust deficit in the almost 40 to 50 years that I have covered politics. So much bitterness between the two sides, so much polarization on every issue that dialogue becomes impossible. And the credibility, I agree, absolutely, I couldn't agree more that the credibility of the Election Commission is as precious and a precious a thing as is the right of the voter to vote the way they want to. And I think it has been damaged, there's no doubt about that. How do you restore that? How do you create a dialogue? How do you use restraint in language, which I think has just gone? Whether it's outside parliament or inside parliament or in our discourse. So those are unfortunate things. I don't know how we go about it. But the future of our democracy will depend on our ability to bridge this polarization and gaps and this bitterness that has crept in between the ruling side and the opposition side.
Jyoti Maniji, you wanted to come in with Sanju Vermaji on what she said, a rebuttal. But let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
the Congress has
Preeti,
been very quick.
Both sides.
Ma'am, allow me to just ask you one question. Allow me to ask you also one question, because the Congress has been very quick to constantly quote the Supreme Court as well when it comes down to past precedents. The fact is, you're demanding electronic machine-readable data, but the Supreme Court in 2019, madam, clearly ruled against this, citing voter privacy concerns.
See, Preeti, just before going into that, you call both sides, it's fair to give equal time. Just cut short somebody's time and giving more time to someone, it's not fair.
Ma'am, so I will time it if you think I cut you short. I will time it.
Whatever Supreme...
Go ahead, ma'am. Make your point.
Yeah, thank you. See, irrespective of Supreme Court, what they said or they don't, see, there is a practice for many years now. The Election Commission used to give a physical voter to political parties and candidates. And if they have given a digital voter list minus photo. This is the practice. Now, yesterday election commissioner press conference, again they lied regarding this. They are saying the photo will be tweaked. Generally, whatever the electronic data we are getting from the election commission, it won't be, there is no photo in it. That itself a pretty lie. Second thing, they are saying that there are people without house will have a zero number. I have been handling voter list more than 25 years now. There is no precedence that there will be a zero number in the people who do not have houses. And also that maybe zero, you are saying you named them address zero. They don't have parents. How the parents' name is like A, Z, M, M, Y, X, Y, Z. So nobody can ask that question. So simply election commission is lying. Actually, they are completely compromised the election commission in the BJP, in favor of BJP. Now they caught red-handed. Their credibility is completely gone. We are also worried about that election commission credibility gone, because election commission has built this country's democracy for ages. No political party, not only Congress, no political party before this have ever charged the election commission in this manner. Now we have proved the election commission made fraud in the voter list without any doubt. It's up to the election commission now to come clean and explain to the voters and take the full responsibility and correct themselves. Otherwise, actually, we are heading to a very, very difficult times, difficult situation, because democracy means every vote counts. But the election commission says, I will decide who vote or not vote. I will decide the voter list. The voter list will be fake. The voter list will be fraudulent. Then it's a problem. It's onus is on the election commission, not on the Rahul Gandhi ji or the Congress party or the opposition party. We are putting some facts which is very truthful in front of the people, in front of the country, in front of the election commission. But now it's up to the election commission and people to decide. We all have to come together. It's not the fight between BJP and Congress. It's a fight for our democracy, the fight for free and fair elections. This is not tu me game. We all have to concern about election, because we are all fighting election. We are
I'll
voting.
stop
we are
now.
all voting
You've
in
spoken
election.
for 2 minutes,
It's our collective
30 seconds.
responsibility to come for a
2 minutes, 30 seconds,
solution.
and I will give exactly
Thank
the
you.
same time to Sanju Verma ji, which is 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm timing it. But Sanju Verma, I'll ask that, I asked a question of Jyoti Mani ji. I'll ask the same question, which was answered by the former CEC, whom, by the way, was a CEC during your term only. And he said, number one, no notional numbers like zero were ever given in the past. So the EC yesterday did say that notional numbers are given like zero. Number one. Number two, the same thing, when it comes down to an affidavit, why not Anurag Thakur sign the same affidavit that is demanded of Rahul Gandhi today? You wanted to also come in for a rebuttal? Go, ma'am, your time begins now.
Okay, thank you, Preeti. Glad to hear my time begins now. I want to just make a couple of things very clear. The entire opposition said Aadhaar should be, taken as conclusive evidence. The Supreme Court said Aadhaar is not conclusive evidence. The entire opposition said SIR is undemocratic. The Supreme Court said the Election Commission has the powers to do what it is doing, and if the Election Commission does not conduct SIR, who will? Then the entire opposition said periodic voter roll revision is hypocrisy and a fallacy. And the Supreme Court said periodic voter roll revision is a must. So my limited point is, my way or the highway is what the opposition believes in. They believe the Supreme Court when it suits their narrative. They don't believe the Supreme Court when it does not suit their narrative. The second point, Maharashtra keeps coming up, in the narrative. Between the Lok Sabha and Assembly elections of 2004, the voter count in Maharashtra went up by 4.7%, the Congress won. In the 2009 Lok Sabha and Assembly elections in Maharashtra, between that period, the voter count went up by 4.4%, the Congress won. Now in 2024, between Lok Sabha and Maharashtra Assembly elections, the voter count went up by 4.1%, but the entire opposition is saying Maharashtra election was stolen. That shows that they either don't understand numbers or they are like the proverbial ostrich with their head under the sand. My final point is this, Preeti. What the Election Commission said, सच सुनने की क्षमता होनी चाहिए और सच समझने की भी क्षमता होनी चाहिए. Democracy does not fail when the Congress party loses an election. Democracy fails when the Congress party refuses to accept that it is losing one election after another. And with due respect to Neerja Choudhry ji, who I have deep respect for, she said she's never seen in the last 40, 50 odd years the kind of trust deficit that exists now. All I can say is that, if I go back to history and read, and I think data does not lie by and large, the biggest trust deficit was when T.N. Seshan, who was serving as cabinet secretary under Rajiv Gandhi, was made CEC. When M.S. Gill, who was the CEC from 1990 to 1996, was made the Union Sports Minister in 2008. And when Sonia Gandhi, without a constitutional position, Ms. Choudhry, appointed Naveen Chawla as the CEC. And by the way, Naveen Chawla was the CEC when the Congress was declared the winner in the 2009
You've spoken for 2 minutes,
election.
30 seconds, and it's a hard cut. Neerja ji, I could have come back for a rebuttal because you were asked a few questions, but I'm sorry, I've completely run out of time. I appreciate all three ladies for joining us. Thank you. Before we go on to our next story, we might want to dip in because it seems Rahul Gandhi on his yatra in Bihar has replied to what the CEC said. Maybe let's hear that and then we'll go on. All right, so the Election Commission had yesterday made a few charges, especially asking Rahul Gandhi to furbish an affidavit before he makes charges like that or apologize to the nation. Rahul Gandhi just an hour ago has responded to that. Listen in.
इलेक्शन कमीशन मुझे कहता है आप एफिडेविट दीजिए, मुझसे एफिडेविट मांगता है, मगर जब अनुराग ठाकुर वही बात कहता है जो मैं कह रहा हूं, उससे एफिडेविट नहीं मांगता है. तो भाइयों और बहनों, इसके बाद उन्होंने क्या किया? इन्हें पता लग गया कि अब इंडिया गठबंधन छोड़ेगा नहीं. इन्हें पता लग गया कि हम बात समझ गए हैं वोट चोरी कैसे होती है, हम डुप्लीकेट वोटर की बात समझ गए हैं, फेक एड्रेस की बात समझ गए हैं, फॉर्म 6 की बात समझ गए हैं. तो इन्होंने अब नई तरकीब निकाली है, SIR. SIR मतलब बिहार की जनता से उनका वोट चोरी करने का तरीका.
Because that just came in just a short while from now. But let me quickly move on and let me shift focus to Mumbai. And Mumbai is drowning yet again, sadly. 3 days of relentless rain, a red alert, and a city struggling to stay afloat. Here's more.
Mumbai, battered, drenched, and brought to a grinding halt. For the third day in a row, the city woke up under a deluge. And this time, the warning was loud and clear. A red alert from the Met Department.
Right now, I am at Dadar Chowpatty, and here we can see how the whole skyline of the city, along with Worli Bandra Sea Link, has disappeared into the clouds, and BMC has also issued, and IMD has also issued a red alert to Mumbai and the adjoining MMR region.
Waterlogged streets turned commutes into chaos. Trains crawled, roads choked. From Sion to the Andheri subway, the city's arteries were submerged.
We are right now on the Eastern Express Highway at Sion specifically, where you can see because of heavy inundation in this area, in spite of the best efforts put in by the BMC to put in generators and pumps to ensure that the water that collects here is thrown out. But however, in spite of the best efforts, this entire place seems to not take it. The traffic is chock-a-block because of this one particular patch.
Heavy rainfall is being reported in Mumbai city since Monday morning. A red alert has been issued by the IMD This is the low-lying area of Andheri subway where you can see some waterlogging and hence the traffic has been shut.
Civic body BMC responded by declaring a school holiday while police urged Mumbaikars to stay indoors and stay alert.
इस वक्त हम मुंबई के वीरा देसाई रोड पर हैं। मुंबई में सुबह से भारी बारिश हो रही है जिसका असर वीरा देसाई रोड पर देखा गया वाटर लॉगिंग होते हुए। अब यहाँ पर आप देखेंगे कि गाड़ी जो है ये इस रोड से पानी जो भरा हुआ रोड से गुजरने की कोशिश कर रही थी और बंद पड़ गई है। एक हाइड्रोलिक टोइंग मशीन लाकर इस गाड़ी को यहाँ से लिफ्ट किया जा रहा है ताकि जो ट्रैफिक है वो फिर से इस रोड पर शुरू किया जा सके।
A school bus carrying 6 children and staff got trapped in knee-deep water near Sion. Swift action by Matunga police turned panic into relief. Not just roads, air traffic was also hit. Flight delays mounted at Mumbai's international airport, with passengers told to keep a close eye on airline updates. The calendar changes, the headlines don't. Monsoon returns and Mumbai once again is left wading through the chaos. Nothing seems to change as each year the rain pain continues. With Vidya, Ritvik Palekar and Mustafa Sheikh in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, the latest news break coming in. All eyes on this particular meet and later on with the Trump-Zelensky meet. Trump set to meet EU leaders, all set for Trump-Zelensky talk. Zelensky worried about ceding territory. Media reports coming in, Putin seeks land swaps as part of peace deal, something which Zelensky was against. Let's take all these questions and the latest developments to my colleague Pranay, who's joining us live with the latest. Pranay, what more can you add?
What we're picking up, Preeti, right now is that a delegation of European leaders have departed from the Ukrainian embassy in Washington, D.C. and they're heading towards the White House, where they are expected to hold a meeting with the U.S. President Donald Trump. As per the President Donald Trump's schedule, he will be holding a one-on-one meeting with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and thereafter they will be having a multilateral meeting attended by the French President Emmanuel Macron, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Friedrich Merz, German Chancellor, as well as Ursula von der Leyen, who's the EU Commissioner there. So clearly there are concerns as far as the Europe is concerned. On the other side, President Donald Trump, after having a meeting in Alaska with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, now he wants a declaration of a ceasefire, and as he has indicated, that ball lies in the court of President Volodymyr Zelensky and Ukraine. As far as the ceasefire conditions are concerned, there are some mutually exclusive conditions put forth by Ukraine as well as by Russia. How President Donald Trump would be able to create a meeting ground for all these exclusive demands, because what President Putin is looking at is not an immediate ceasefire, but he is looking at a long-term peace solution, which might take a lot of conditions, which might take a lot of work to be done. But what Europe is looking at, what the European leaders have gone with to Washington, to White House, is to ask for an immediate ceasefire and conditionality in terms of having the security concerns of Europe addressed, because Europe and especially the Ukraine want there should not be a ceding of territory by Ukraine as far as the security guarantee to be ensured for the Ukraine.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Pranay. We're going to keep a keen eye, Pranay and his team, going to keep a keen eye on all developments as they take place and report it right here first. This is disconcerting, the next story, which comes in from Meerut, where a shocking incident has come to the fore from Meerut, where an army jawan was brutally assaulted by toll plaza workers. In retaliation, angry villagers vandalized the plaza and confronted its workers.
An army jawan is brutally thrashed by toll plaza workers in Meerut. The incident took place when the 26-year-old was returning to rejoin duty in Srinagar. According to the police, an argument turned into slugfest after soldier Kapil Singh asked toll plaza workers to allow his vehicle to pass quickly.
अपनी गाड़ी को उन्हें जल्दी निकालना था, उनकी फ़्लाइट थी। इस चक्कर में उन्होंने टोल कर्मियों से वार्ता किया। इस बात को लेकर उनका वाद विवाद हुआ, टोल कर्मियों द्वारा उनकी पिटाई की गई। गंभीर धाराओं में तत्काल त्वरित कार्यवाही करते हुए पुलिस द्वारा मुकदमा दर्ज किया गया और रात भर में कुल जो प्रमुख लोग हैं उनमें 6 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया गया है और पुलिस द्वारा समुचित कार्यवाही की गई है। इनसे लगातार परिजनों से संपर्क है।
उसे छोड़ने जाते उसकी फ्लैट थी आज, तो ये उतरे। इनने कहा भैया रे इससे तब फेर कर लियो, मुझे काट दो। उनका क्यों, तू क्या वो है वो भाई जज है तू? उसका कार्ड दिखाया उनने, कार्ड फेंक के मारा, दोनों तो उसके हाथ पकड़ लिए।
Hundreds gathered at the Bhuni toll plaza and vandalized the place after the videos of the assault on the jawan went viral. The villagers stormed into the toll plaza and confronted the staff at the booth. Angry locals accused toll plaza workers of getting drunk and harassing people.
सारी मर्यादाएं तार-तार कर दी इन्होंने। कल तो वो उस लड़के ने अपना आई कार्ड दिखाया है कि मैं सेना का जवान हूँ, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में भी रहा हूँ और मेरी एयरपोर्ट पे जा रहा हूँ फ्लाइट है। उसके बाद भी इन्होंने उसे इतनी बदतमीजी से पीटा। और शर्म की बात यह है कि उसके पिताजी भी थे, उनके पिताजी की आयु लगभग 55 साल होगी। हाँ, उनके पिताजी को भी उन्होंने पीटा। एसपी साहब से बात हुई, थानाध्यक्ष को। हाँ, इन्होंने रात तो 4 को कर लिया था, अभी शायद 2 को दिन में करा होगा।
The police have arrested 6 people for the assault on the soldier. They are scanning CCTV footage of the incident. More arrests are not ruled out. With Usman Choudhry in Meerut, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, with that, viewers, it's a wrap on this edition of News Today. We're going to see you tomorrow evening, but we do leave you with these images that are coming in. Prime Minister Modi meets India's space hero, Shubhnshu Shukla, the first man from India to enter International Space Station. During the meeting, Shuks presented the Axiom 4 mission patch to the Prime Minister and shared photographs of the Earth taken from the ISS. We leave you with these visuals. Enjoy, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening ahead.